I don't know. You know, Chris is so restrictive of what I can talk about.
We talk general business practices, and B thinks that the entire world should know what's in people's bank accounts, what their blood type is, who they voted for in 1988. Like she wants everybody to know everything.
Mia, if we get a chance to talk about Tighten Up Tuesday, I would love for you to be on the show. If you do DIY or creative things, repurposing, cutting up shirts, I don't give a fuck what it is, because I love for people to see the other creative side of comedians. That's all I was going to say.
I'm doing a whole bunch of different stuff over here anyway. I'm organizing everything. I'm cleaning everything up, cleaning up my life. It's all about mental health, physical health. I just got off the phone with Sean Moore talking about some term life insurance and converting it to whole life. We adults now.
Yeah, and that's what we talk about on my show, how art is our therapy. It's definitely a mental, I guess it's like a surrogate to me.
I didn't tell you, Mia's a Pentecostal comic. You can't smoke while God. She's on.
I'm not smoking. What are you talking about?
I am not. How dare you?
The show ain't even started. Now, when the show starts, then I know the rules.
I love sending Kym pictures because she gets irritated. Whatever irritates Kym, I like to do.
Funny mamas.
So
Two funny mamas. What's with the grip?
How'd you like that cold open? No Sherri Shepherd, no Kym Whitley today. We have a treat for you. I've got some friends that have stepped in. Sherri approved. Now, Kym's on vacation with her damn self, allegedly. But Sherri is out doing comedy. She is at the Charlotte Comedy Zone this weekend. You all can go check her out and have some fun with Sherri this weekend. On the podcast, though, Two Funny Mamas must roll on. I know you guys are surprised. Actually, we have a flyer here. Look at this. Sherri Shepherd.
Yes,
go to sherrishowtv.com/tour. Go see Sherri. She's got the stand-up bug, and she's out there killing it. Speaking of stand-ups, the fill-ins today, your stepmoms of sorts. B-Phlat, you know her from Tighten Up Tuesday. Yamaneika Saunders. She's from everywhere. She's recently been on the Sherri.
I love being a stepmom.
On the Sherri show. We'll get B's thoughts on being a stepmom. And then my good friend Mia Jackson. She's a writer, comedian. You've seen her on Comedy Central. And we've got a lot to talk about today. I personally am super excited to see this happen, but I want you all to introduce yourselves. Even you, B-Phlat. You go first. I think people should know you by now, but with Sherri and Kym's popularity, we keep getting new people tuning in. So everybody, if you would, get some plugs in.
You sure you're excited, Chris, to see me? You just saw me Tuesday.
Where did I see you?
On my shit, Tighten Up Tuesday. I'm the flipper for the folks. I come in and flip your space, one room, for under $200. And you got to help. Ain't no going to no damn spa and come back and be surprised. Get your gear on, get your grandma and everybody together so we can work on your space and they can learn something. So that's where I was on Tuesday, showing how I was flipping and doing different things around here and, doing things for my neighbor, checking on her bench that I built her. That's what we do on Tighten Up Tuesday. Use the stuff you already have. So hopefully Mia will come on the show. I'm sure you're doing something creative.
I'm going to find something to fix.
And even if you flop, you can come on the show and tell people how it didn't work. We do that too.
Perfect. I'm down.
Mia Jackson on the show today, the first time. Wow, what an exciting moment in your career. What should people know about you?
What should the people know? Well, I am Mia Jackson. I'm a comedian and an avid reader. Okay. What else? What else do people need to know? I'm also a writer, and I'm a new aunt. I'm very excited about it.
Here we go.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yes. No, Chris, just because you're a deadbeat uncle does not mean because I go and see the baby once a month because you have not seen your niece yet.
And I don't know what's up with that, Chris, because everybody from my show done sent you clothes and stuff for the baby, and they want to see the pictures
And
Baby with the onesies on and shit. Chris ain't showed no pictures on the show. Now I can say that's because Chris ain't seen the baby.
Chris
He
ain't
told
seen
nobody
the
why.
baby.
He ain't told nobody why.
I get a text update every day that included. I'm watching her grow up over the phone. So,
Chris, how many onesies?
Baby.
what?
I just want to know real quick, how many onesies did you get from the Picassos?
Like four or five. Your fans love mailing stuff, and they're
And
so nice.
And they be like, Chris, they be like, B-Phlat. I told you how they be talking about you in my email, and we gonna do a roast. But they be like, B-Phlat, when Chris gonna take a picture of his baby niece in that onesie that I sent him? I be like, girl, I don't know. That's what I gotta say in the email. I be like, girl, I don't know.
See,
You gotta ask Chris on the show in the comments. Now
you know what?
Now,
That's what I needed to hear the further confirmation, because I was like, maybe I'm wrong. You know,
No.
maybe I'm just just slandering his name as an uncle.
No, but that's how you know. That's how you know, Chris. He Deezy on my show, but he ain't got a look. He got a little black in him, but he ain't got all black in him. Because you know when black people get this stuff, we take pictures in the shit instantly.
Yeah, look.
That's when white side come out in the film. They be like, "Oh, we'll put it on a special occasion." Black people would have had it on in all the stories. It'd be 5 stories with 5 different onesies on, all on the same day. They'd be like, "Oh, look, the baby got it. The uncle sent this from the." But we'll wait on it, Chris.
Thank you.
That's all I got to say.
Mia, did you have any further slander?
Well, I was speaking of onesies. Yam sent my little niece an I Love New York onesie, which we tried to put it on her, but she's not thick enough yet for it.
Oh,
so
okay.
But we like when she fattened up over the summer. But we tried, and we were like, "Oh, it's gonna hang on for her." So, but it's so cute though.
Yeah, cool. I can't wait to see it.
She just confirmed the story. They put it on her.
Yeah.
See? That's all I got to say. It's a cultural thing.
It's not.
Well, can I get my intro in, please?
Yes.
I want to tap in.
Top of the pyramid. Top of the pyramid. Top of the pyramid.
Before I've been formally introduced, and I know I've been here before, but let me just say this. Yamaneika here. Thank you for having me back. I just met my nieces, and they 9 and 11. Okay, so let's be very clear. I'm not. You understand? For the first time, I met them at age 9 and at age 11. They are. No, wait. I think one's 7. See, I forgot their names. But no, I know their names. I won't say them because I know my sister and them like secure, to keep confidence. I have half sisters, so that's what and I just met them, and I look forward to meeting. One of my sisters has 2 daughters. One of my other half sister has 2 sons. So I'm looking forward to meeting my nephews. I'm blessed. One of my sisters asked me to marry her. She's getting married next year. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about growing my relationship with, I will say my sister's names because children is off, we got to protect the children. But my sister Tayana and my sister Maisha, and I'm glad that they're letting me be a part of their children's lives because I don't have any children. I've been pregnant before, but I know how to fall downstairs.
You should call me. I got another one. You got to do that.
Yeah, but listen, the children are the future. I will say, let me just say with my intro, what I love about these women here, and a proud moment I just had recently with Mia, and she won't say this, is Mia wrote an episode for season 2 of Life and Beth. She's one of the writers on there, and she allowed me to come on. Yes. And I was able to sit next to her. I was off that day, but she allowed me to come be with her on set as she, directed them through that, moved them through that. And it was just really such an honor to see that. I was just really excited. I was really, really proud of her. So, I have so much love for Mia. She is one of the sweetest people I know, and she tolerates my shenanigans. And, And what can I say about B? Everybody knows I'm so in awe of her and her spirit. And, you know, really, when I've had some really difficult times, she has had some really heartfelt conversations with me. She's somebody that I trust to uplift, to give perspective, and, you know, not, and doesn't make anything about herself when you're going through it. She really holds you in it. So I can't
wait. B-Phlat?
Yes. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to be on the show today with them. Obviously, Chris, you know how I feel about you. It's been a while since you and I have really spoken. We got to get back to speaking like we did on the regular, but I'm disappointed about the hair. I'm disappointed in the hair. I mean, I was like, is this Jesus Christ at Golden Corral? What is happening here?
Don't put that on Jesus Christ.
I know I did.
I turn water into chocolate fountains.
Well, I was getting ready to say you turn water into gravy. But you know, listen, this is as cute as a pie. You know, I gotta tone it down because I don't know what's going on between him and Kym. But you know, if she moves out the way for 1 second, I'll step right in there. Let me tell you something. If I don't marry Chris, then I don't know what's happening in the world. And I've put that out there. 20 years from now, Chris and I, once he gets over the fact that I'm older than him, and that you know, sometimes I have a lace front on, sometimes I don't.
And the day y'all get married, I'm going to get my hysterectomy reversed, and I'm gonna have
that part.
Chris, I'm just going back to the fact that Yamaneika is right about me. Just like I called you yesterday, and I was concerned, and you was like, "You're genuinely concerned about me." Just because we fell out last week.
Wow.
Because we fell out last week, Chris.
I'm falling out.
Because you know I'm concerned about your well-being, and I know you're working hard and under a lot of stress, doing a lot of things to bring a lot of projects together and hold down the fort. So I was just calling to see how you were doing, and you was like, I don't always make things about me, but I make sure I listen for the opportunity.
Oh my gosh. Well, that means a lot. Wow. This is what a special day. A proposal, a future birth announcement, and someone I can look up to as an aunt.
I'm a proud great aunt, and you know I don't have children that I know of. And I love that my two great nieces have my middle name.
Yes.
Yes. So I live on through them. They have my middle name. And they are so cute. And it's funny because they look like twins and they're cousins. And one's name is Layla and the other one's name is Lyric. Because their mom and daddy are twins. My nieces and nephews are twins, Lark and Lewis. And they both have a kid apiece. And they named them like the L name and then gave them my middle name. I was like, oh. They was like, we love Aunt Bev. I was like, somebody got to take care of me when I get old.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
that's why I need kids now. I need these kids. I told my sisters, it's not about y'all. It's about y'all kids. Because I'm 90 years old. You need somebody to wake my ass.
That's right. I do all kind of shit for them. Because I was like, when I get old, I want them to come and check on Aunt Bev. Nobody else going to do it. So be nice to your nieces and nephews, people, if you ain't got no kids.
Some other other than being great planners, these ladies, aside from B, don't always brag about some of the accomplishments they've had. Recently, B was on Celebrity Game Face with Sherri, with obviously Kevin Hart.
We won. Say that, Chris.
You won?
You know we won. It aired. People
that's
know
right.
Yeah.
There's this.
Yes, we won. All right,
you were on there.
Back because she's been on there 4 times, and I kept saying, Sherri, don't worry about it. I got this. You be on here with people with bad knees, girl. I got these steps. And I run. I was like, you know I do marathons? I was like, girl, please. And I ran up. We won. That's all I got to say. Chris, you
that's
know,
hilarious.
It was the bomb.
Well, she's got a podcast, Tighten Up Tuesday, if you haven't tuned in for that. But these ladies, all 3 have done some pretty incredible things in the comedy world. Yamaneika and B have both been on This Is Not Happening. Yamaneika's been on multiple times. Mia, also Comedy Central special as well. Go check her out. Mia, you were talking about writing, and we can get into it a little bit later, what that means. But you also, fun fact, speaking of Sherri, Kym, and the show, Mia was a writer on I Love Us.
I was. Oh, yeah. Yes. I was.
As you see here,
that was fun.
Kym got pregnant standing next to Country Wayne in that one photo.
That was
I like that dress. That's so cute. Kym always got on something fine and cute and sexy.
Look at Chris out here pulling up all the images.
He does the research. He's good about that.
I love it. Yeah.
And I'm trying to get him to go home. That's the problem. Chris don't never go home. He's always doing this.
That's why he can't see his niece.
That's why he got all the money. And that's why he can't go see his niece.
When I had a long sew in.
Saving up all his money for what? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
For what?
What is this? Some type of back down memory lane with you?
You know that was Chris last year. You know that was Chris last year before he let his hair start growing.
Right. It went from Mia's credits to This Is Your Life, Mia with Chris. What is happening here?
I just gradually transitioned it to photos of me with famous black women comedians.
And you're going to stop flashing it back to when you had short hair.
Okay. All right. We're done. Oh. Ladies, yes, very talented, and I'm so pumped you could join and fill in for Sherri and Kym today. Sherri, again, on tour, super busy. Go see her in Charlotte if you're in that area this weekend. That's the flyer. You can go to sherrishowtv.com/tour. Go see her and spend the holiday weekend with her. All right. So you guys are obviously very talented women. You're here. You're hanging out. We're having a blast. Unfortunately, super sad news. Let's just dive right into it. Tina Turner has passed away. As of, we're recording this on Thursday, Wednesday. It's coming out Thursday. As of, I guess we all found out about 30 minutes ago. I didn't realize everybody hadn't seen it, and I made a little note page, and that's how Yamaneika found out. So now we're tied together for that. But an amazing woman. You all, I'm sure, have some great things to say about her. But she has ties to St. Louis, so I've always been aware of her as soon as I was born, and then even up recently, I just watched her documentary on HBO. Incredible. Highly recommend that. Start us off, Yamaneika. What are your thoughts? I mean, I'm sure this is tough. This is never easy too, because she meant so much to so many people.
No, it's not easy. Let me just first address. Yeah, I found out through Chris, but I always find out death news haphazardly anyway. My mother constantly, I hate to call my mother because she loved to play Guess Who Died. It's always somebody she know that damn died. And then you don't never know who they are. You got to go there to thing and this and that. And it's never the person. Come to find out it was a gerbil. So, getting news like this is, that makes you black, Chris, because black people just be throwing death news out.
That's true.
That's
you know what I'm saying? You'd be like, well, Uncle Earl died. Wait, hold on, what? So, but Tina Turner, let me tell you something. She is, I hate to say spirit animal, but for lack of saying anything else, I would say spirit animal. Because Tina Turner, especially for the demographic of women that watch this and for us as well, when Tina Turner showed that life can not restart and get better after 40, she is an example of that. And I know Bev Smith is doing the hashtag It Gets Better Later, I think. And I like that movement of women being dynamic and not going to the wayside. And we know that she had a tumultuous start where she was with a man who was jealous of her talent and of her spirit and wanted to control that. And thank God got her out of that situation that she could flourish. It's not that she didn't do spectacular things when she was with him, but she was able to soar above that when she was released from him, and to then find love on terms of somebody who could love her the way she needed to be loved. And that's how she spoke about her next husband. So there's so many examples we can take out of Tina Turner's life. Not just that she was an immaculate talent, but that she was a woman of fortitude. She was a woman who exemplary life that can show you, don't ever let anything tell you what is supposed to be done at what age and what time. Life comes at you and you get the things that you need as you go along if you just continue to live in your truth. So I will forever love Tina Turner. You know, I have so much regard and respect and love for my grandmother, who was my heart, but I'll tell you, it hurt me. It's very similar to when I found out about my grandmother's passing. It left a stain, knowing that we don't have that blessed, encouraging spirit on earth. But thank God she lived a life and left us with so many examples, and a life to be proud of. So may you rest in peace with the Heavenly Father, Tina Turner.
Well said, Pastor Yamaneika.
Yes.
You should have done it.
I know you being from St. Louis as well. I mean, did that, again, I'm sure people from, where'd she grow up? Tennessee or Alabama, I believe, or until she was about 8. Either way, she spent some formative years here.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I thought it was somewhere outside of Memphis.
Yeah. So she grew up there till she was about 8. I believe her mom just said her parents abandoned her, kind of. Like, it was a bad deal. But she spent some formative years here. Did that mean anything to you growing up in this area?
Of course it did, because I think I mentioned to you earlier, Chris, that my first performance as a 3-year-old, although they had me practicing as a 2-year-old, was Proud Mary for my aunt's nursing school. So I performed Proud Mary for a group of nurses. This had to be in like 1972, somewhere around that era. But the thing about Tina Turner that I've always admired was just her diversity in all genres of music and just how she was over. People always tell her story from a point of view that she overcame. But I look at it like there are so many women that have that same Tina Turner story. She just told it. And a lot of people in her generation, and you know, our mothers in that generation, they don't tell the story of the things that they go through. We're just now in this generation where it's Me Too, and people talk about abuse, be it incest or whatever, be it, you know, physical abuse from your husband. I think as a Black woman, she was a pioneer in that. She broke away and didn't let that define her. Whereas a lot of women keep going back to that pattern. And she was like, oh no, I'm better than this. So to me, her life is not defined by what she went through. To me, her life was defined by what she overcame and just left that in the past. Because she did so much more. And the way that she always reinvented herself, I totally try to pattern myself after Tina Turner because she's amazing all throughout her career. And she, even in these pictures, she's in like her 50s and 60s. So, you know, you can look up to her as a middle-aged woman and be like, you know what? Not because of her money and her body look like that. She always believed in taking care of herself and putting herself first and foremost. So I think that just carried her throughout. And that's how she was always able to do shit in her 70s and 80s. And I feel the same way because, like, I just feel like it's a resurgence of Black women. We had that strong power movement in the 70s. And now we just have so many opportunities that are open to us. We're taking advantage of it. Look at what we're doing. We wouldn't have all of this 30 years ago. So I feel as though I'm at an age where, you know, people are like, oh, she getting old. I just feel like I'm at the best. I'm better now in my mid-50s than I was 20, 30 years ago. And health-wise, everything. So I just feel as though she represents that for me and a lot of women that are just continuing to try to get better. And all of us have a story. You see what I'm saying? But she represents continuing on and just getting better for me. That's what she
Well,
represents.
you said I was preaching. You were co-pastor up in here.
Oh,
Wow, that is
most people try to understand that you have to die for people to learn your life story. And she was one of those people whose story should have been documented, should have been out, whose story as a role model should have been told from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, all the way up until now. This woman was in her 80s. And she'd been doing that since she was in her 20s. You see what I'm saying? Like younger than that, but professionally. Yeah. So I feel as though she's always had from the point she left, she's always had an amazing story to tell in terms of her religion and just how she regained her spirit. But we don't celebrate that stuff. We always and who was a drug addict and want to tell 1,000 documentaries about them. And then when the person passed, the flowers, and then you find out shit about them and be like, you find out they were an activist. And people don't know that she was an activist. More than just an entertainer. You know, there's a lot of stuff we wouldn't even have in terms of Black women, in terms of opportunities, if it wasn't for Tina Turner's, her era, her type. But we wait till they pass away to find out about a Pam Grier and a Tina Turner. You see what I'm saying? And a Diane Carroll. And these women have always done positive things to get us where we are as Black women.
Yeah. Deacon Jackson.
Insane.
You know,
right?
that's I'm about to come up with my
looking at a diverse group of women. I'm going to stop here. You're looking at a group of women who have opportunities. Like all of us are in SAG. She's a writer. Yam's a writer. We're all in SAG. I'm on the nominating board committee. So it's always, we're doing things behind the scenes that we wouldn't have had opportunities to do years ago if it wasn't for pioneers like them in this industry. So that's all I have to say.
Amen.
And that was beautiful. It was both y'all and as a deacon,
you need to read. Tell us about the good book of Tina. The good book of Tina.
Let me tell you. You know what? This is when I think about the my experiencing her as a consumer of art. Like I remember as a kid, like seeing the Private Dancer album. So like that's where she starts for me. You know what I mean? So like you see that album. Like I didn't know, because my dad is like had a bunch of albums and stuff. So like to me it didn't even connect that. Like I was like, oh, there was a Tina Turner before she was this thing, And so I can remember that, and then watching the movie, watching What's Love Got to Do with It, and Angela Bassett's amazing performance as Tina Turner, where I think she, really just embodied everything about her. And then that made me go, because I already love biopics anyway, and then that made me go, I have to read her story and I need to hear it in her words. And so it really just provided a lot of context just for, because, biopics leave things out, and you get to actually hear it from her in her own words, and you just go, man, like, and that just made me like love her even more. And like, just, my connection as far as like, just respecting her as an artist was like, I used to drive everybody crazy, because there was a point in my life where I would act out most of the scenes to What's Love Got to Do with It, and then be told to go sit my ass down somewhere because they were like, you think you funny. You ain't funny. You think you funny. Why you always, so just something about like her being a performer, and then me thinking that I was good enough to even try to be acting this out in front of people is ridiculous. But again, also shows just the inspiration, of who she is. But yeah, but her story just in general is, it's the resilience. It's just the perseverance, all those different things. And then especially, also having watched that documentary where you're like, yeah, people tried to distill her story to go, oh, well, this is this woman who had this thing with this man. And you're like, no. She was still going to be Tina Turner regardless of him in her life, and again, and also being a woman of a certain age, as a kid, or when you're younger and you see these things where you go, oh, well, her being a rock, artist at 40, like that's, it seems like such a far off thing. But then when you grow older yourself, you're like, man, that was something really amazing that she was, because people always love to write off Black women anyway, and Black women as artists and Black women as performers. And it's like, and here's a woman who said, none of what you think about me matters to me. I know what I'm capable of, and I'm going to do this thing. And not only am I going to do this thing, I'm going to thrive. And you just see, it's like once she broke free, it just, whatever it was that he had in her life, it's like, hey, you know what? Cool. You introduced her to us, but she was always who she was, and her career speaks for itself. And, you know, and I just, you know, I will always just be very grateful that we were able to have Tina Turner, Anna Mae Bullock in our life, you know, so always very thankful for that. So.
Amen.
I will take up a collection if anybody wants.
Yeah, hallelujah.
Gotta take up the collection.
I took.
I heard you, Chris. You got it right. You said, "Won't he do it?" That's right, Chris. You got it.
Kudos to Tina passing away at 83, and this is a somewhat recent photo. And this isn't a slight to her husband, Erwin, but they're 20 years. There's a 20-year difference, and they look great together.
Yeah, they look about the same age.
Oh, there it is, Yamaneika.
It's gonna be, look, put it back up there. It's gonna be me and Chris in a couple years.
No, that's gonna be me and my husband. Oh, Chris, you just told me what me and Dennis are gonna look like. So I'm gonna show that picture to Dennis.
I'm gonna be in a picture. I'm gonna be smiling next to Chris, going, "Oh my God, I wish you would cut that hair."
Is that what Tina's saying here? She's going, I told this son of a...
That is wild. Because, you know, I'm 16 years older than my husband. And everybody says, and it's so funny because now his whole beard is turning gray and he ain't even 40 yet. And it's so funny because, this is going on like 13 years. Yeah, been married.
Hey!
Where my young man at?
What?
I need a young man.
Mia?
Chris?
Yeah. What are you talking about? You still got it. I mean, it never left. I ain't never let you go get it from nowhere. It's still here.
Mia, what was that dance you were doing for their marriage?
That was like, oh, I didn't know that. That was giddy girl, giddy girl. See, Chris, B know what it means.
Thank you, Chris.
Mia, one more time.
Mia, don't dance for him. Don't be jumping through hoops for him.
No. That's a. Don't make it into. Oh, Yamaneika, everybody, getting me prepared for a future life. Oh, that's hilarious. Great words by the what would you call it? The Baptist Collective. Like what's your church's name?
The Church of Comedy in Christ.
Yes.
The Tabernacle of Tina.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
I like it.
You know, she practiced Buddhism.
What's that?
She was a Buddhist.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Nam-myoho Renge-kyo.
Yeah, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo with all of that. But it's like yoga. It's very calming, and you need that in your life in terms of meditation and just regaining your spirit and just learning to recenter. Because you know I do it every day. That's why I smoke.
I appreciate that about you.
It circles. It make a circle around me. Mm-hmm. I'll be in the middle, and it makes me recenter. And there you have it.
Well, B, you know a little about this. We were talking about Yamaneika and Mia, some of the projects they're working on. They're both performers, actors, comedians, now paid professional writers. You got the writer's strike. I thought since you two were coming on today, Sherri and Kym have talked about a little bit. The audience is always, this is a really interested, educated audience that tunes in, and they always have some really unique, creative questions as far as the writer's strike goes. First off, give people a little rundown of who you write for, what you've written for, and then how's it affecting you? I mean, that's the most simple of questions to kind of start that off. And it's not a good situation. I've told people, I hope we didn't lose Yamaneika.
No, I'm here.
Oh, something illegal is happening.
No, I feel like hips was involved with whatever just happened.
And I wasn't. I brought this because we just won the Writers Guild Award.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hang on, wait.
Inside Amy Schumer.
Wow. That's incredible. That's huge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's very huge.
And I have to give a lot of credit to Amy, to Dan Powell for really putting a really good group of people together. So when I hold this up, I'm not holding this up as a person like I did this. There were a bunch of amazing writers for Inside Amy Schumer and some people who wrote. It was just amazing to be in a room with some of these people and the process. So once you get into a writer's room, I was talking about this somewhere else the other day. Writer's room can always be intimidating in the beginning, but there's some good writer's room. There's some bad ones.
Can you give us a quick, just like super quick example of a good writer's room and a bad writer's room? Just a sentence.
Mia, do you want to do that?
I could give a little bit. I guess we could. So to me, from my limited experience as a writer in writer's room,
I said for you to come in because you have more. I think you have more than I do.
Oh my God!
Both,
stop.
Yeah. So.
Well, to me, a good room, to me, it's a collaborative process. And, and this is, from my own experience, but also even just, from talking to my friends who have been in the other rooms where they're like, yeah, you want to, because it is intimidating because you're like, wait a minute, I'm working in this place where there are people who have written for all these different things, that have written all these different awards, that have had pilots and, all the like things that have gone to series, just all kinds of stuff. And you can go in there, at least for me, I'm like, oh my God, am I going to be alone? Am I going to be by myself? Am I going to have to write a whole script? Because when you see a finished script, you're like, all right, you look at it, a sitcom about, if it's a single camera, half-hour show that's about 30, 35 pages, about 35 pages on average, where you're like, that's a lot when you look at that, just by yourself. And you're like, can I do this thing? But then, like for me, my most recent experience was in the Life and Beth writer's room, which is a scripted dramedy. And it was just collaborative. Everybody sat around, we talked, it was a Zoom room, so we were not, with each other, but this is the thing that I think we should talk about. Like let's kind of plot how this episode should go. And then, okay, well, you're going to do this episode, but everybody would contribute. So you didn't feel like, oh, I have to go write this script all by myself with nothing. You have things to actually work from. And so that's what I find to be a good room. And then like I've been in like many years ago, I wrote for a smaller room, and it was an award show, and it was fine, but I also felt very much like, oh, I'm by myself, because it was, well, we have to write these jokes for this person or this monologue for this specific person and these different things. And it was just like everybody kind of just worked on their own until we all got together, and then it would be, well, no, that's not going to work. Nope. So it was a lot of that happening. And I was just like, oh God, like if this is what it's like, this may actually kind of be scary, And so, so to know that there are experiences where there are people that are like, hey, we're actually trying to make a good show here. We should work together on this. I think that's what you want out of a writer's room.
Are there any specific questions, Chris, about, sorry, B, I just wanted to.
Oh, I was going to give my perspective on the writers' whole thing from being on the nominating board. I'm always on those committees and shit, but because it's very important. And a lot of people don't even know what the writers' strike is about. It's just
that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
It's like, oh, my show ain't coming on. It's in rerun. And then you realize how important it is to pay these people for what they're doing and their job and their wages. But it's more than just intellectual property. Like a lot of people don't know, like when you write a script or you write anything, a treatment, you have to, you should register it with the Writers Guild so that no one else can steal your script. And then you can have that clause at the bottom that says this, like when you send it to other people to look at, and they look at it and they say at the bottom, they know it's registered with the Writers Guild. These are things to protect our intellectual property, because anybody can steal our joke, anybody can steal our script, anybody can steal what we pass around for other people to see while we're trying to sell it. So what people don't understand about the writer's strike is that it's so many writers, and there's not enough for them to write on. Meaning, for example, back in the day, you could be on you could write on the show. They have like 16 fucking seasons. You might work on it for 10 months. Everybody collaborate on it. Now it's like these mini sessions because they're doing a lot of streaming. They only need you for like 6 seasons or like 6 little short things to see if it's going to work. So they may bring you in, and once they're done with you, they may not even use you on that next episode. So that's the thing that we're trying to fight in terms of being writers, because there's more streaming services than there are networks that are picking up shows, and they're doing that because they know they can pay you less. Studios are smaller, and these big studios, there's like a $486 million increase that we're trying to get just to live on, because you can't really live. Where writers live, they can't really live on that salary in New York and Los Angeles. So it makes sense to increase their wages, regardless if they're working on these streaming companies are under these big ass production companies that have the money. So that's what's on the negotiating table. And I make sure, and as SAG members, make sure y'all go in and vote for the, if you get it in the mail, make sure you go in and vote for this, vote yes for the actors, so that and I want them to strike as long as possible, because you all need the money and they can see how important it is. Because all these shows ain't nothing in production. Ain't nobody writing on shit. And you just watching old stuff. And if you need something to watch, make sure you come and watch Tighten Up Tuesday at 9:00 p.m. on YouTube.
Perfect.
I'm an advocate for that, because I'm like one of those behind the scene people. I love doing things for SAG-AFTRA, just to make sure I'm in the loop. I'm always that person that you can call and be like, girl, what can SAG-AFTRA get me? And I'd be like, girl, you better call about that $600 emergency loan they're giving out to all the active people. And I just let people know that stuff because I'm very active as with my local chapter here in Philly. Mm-hmm. Very active.
I want to also add in with the streaming, which is very important, is one of the things that happens for actors is residuals. And there's so many different ways in which they are allowed to navigate around paying you. So, for instance, there's no residuals in reality. So once you pay yourself, you get paid for that episode. And every time that episode airs, you are not getting any money off of that episode, which is, they navigate that by saying you're playing yourself. And so any place in which it is non-scripted or playing yourself, there are a lot of restrictions and things that need to be corrected even there. I've done reality television. I understand with that. One of my first big projects before I became a part of the union, I know a lot of people don't like to become a part of the union because of the dues and
I love being a part of
this, that. I got grandfathered in. I was dodging the union as long as I could. Where for SAG, where it became necessary is I was doing a project. I was literally, every time I did this project, I was being paid $75, and it was on a major network. I was getting $75. When I was forced to, I won't say forced because I'm glad I'm a part of SAG, but there was no way I could not be a part of SAG because I'd done so much on television at that point. It increased my pay. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but let's say I went from making $75 to making thousands of dollars a week.
As a SAG.
There's a benefit for that because you have a union behind you that are fighting for your things. What is happening with the writers is you are not with streaming, they're not giving the numbers on how often people are going to access streams. Every time there is a stream, there is a pay source of some kind. Even if you pay not to have commercials during your streaming, that is still money that is being accessed per stream. So when we don't have transparency in that, when we don't have contracts that say that writers get certain residuals off of streaming, when you have networks that now also have streaming sources, it's not just going through television or cable. You can go online, you can access it through apps. That kind of jurisdictions needs to be established. And right now, I think a lot of networks are willing to come to the table and talk about it. I know that there are, specifically there is a network that is holding out, which is the who, what, where, why, because we all work with that network. And I have a lot of people I love and friends over at that place. But it is... I want people to understand, just because you see people on television, just because you see people in entertainment and writing, it is still feast and famine. A lot of us are not comfortable until we get to a place of the people that you call the GOATs, who are making millions and millions of dollars and they have pajama money. I have feast or famine. You see me on TV, you see me a lot, I'm here and there. It's because I have to be. Because where we get paid. If I'm not on television, if I'm not writing on something other than doing stand-up, which is fortunate for us that we all do stand-up and we can still get money there, but it's not, television money. Don't ever think that we think we're better than anybody because we are on television, because this is just our job. Like whatever job you go to make money, we are working a job.
Amen.
Right.
And trying to get a check all counts.
Yeah.
And it's constant. It is, you're trying to get on the next thing you can write on. You're trying to get on the next show that you can, as a stand-up, you're trying to, anything that we can do, we're trying. Yeah, we're just trying to do that to work.
Like everybody else. We're business women, we're entrepreneurs out there trying to make a living, working for ourselves, like other people. So that's where people do get it twisted. They feel like you said, they see you on TV. Everybody saw me on, because somebody was like, they said to me at Aldi's, "Oh my God, I can't believe you shopping here." And I was like, "You crazy? I've been here all the time because I've been trying to." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I'll be at the Goodwill.
Thank you. I buy high-end groceries, but I would not like, "Oh, now that I'm making more money, I'm gonna stop shopping at Aldi's." Hell no. Aldi's be having a whole gourmet section full of nice shit. And I like Aldi's. And the lady was like, "Thank you for shopping." I was like, "Girl, you ain't gotta thank me shit. I'm gonna be here next week." Thank you. And you see me again. Yes.
And another point though, as far as like for anybody that's watching, like also just go, if you just go to Twitter and look at some of the writers that are sharing their different stories, that'll help put a lot of it in perspective, because, there are going to be people that are like, well, because I've seen people actually making threats online, like, well, I don't know why they striking. This is crazy. I don't know why they're doing this. Or if I go outside, I'm gonna run over people. Like I've seen those kind of things, online, and people are like, yeah, and like getting hype about that kind of stuff. And it's like, but no, all you have to do is just read some stories of real people that are living this every day, that are like, hey, this is a thing that is happening to me, and this is what I'm trying to do to survive. Because even like some of the stuff that I've, just looked at, I was like, oh, I didn't realize I kind of had a similar story, but I didn't, but I'm so, newer to the Writers Guild that I was like, oh, I didn't, oh, this is a common thing. Because somebody was talking about how they sold a pilot, and that they were just saying, like, to anybody who isn't in that world, they might look at it and go, oh, well, you sold a pilot for this certain amount of money, so you sold it for $125,000, so that means you're rich. And then they go, well, no, actually what happens is you only get money as you hit certain milestones, and so if that thing doesn't, if you don't hit, if you don't commence, if you don't go to this step and this step, then you don't actually get. And if that show never gets made, you never got $125,000 that people think that you just walked away with. That kind of thing. So it's
even if you had $125,000, people are going to. I think the problem, the disconnect is. I didn't mean to cut you off, Mia, but because you're hitting a good point that I want to illuminate. The disconnect is in the world of entertainment across the board, writing, producing, directing, acting, all of that. People who are not in entertainment, who watch the magic, because you have to remember this world is very phony, right? It is to entice and engage and entertain you. And you can't engage and entertain people without giving them some sparkle and some dazzle. People like to look at things. The Kardashians became a thing because we wanted to emulate their lifestyle. What they were doing was so different than what we had, and we wanted to see the opulence. And because of that, now that with Kim Kardashian saying she's having problems being a single mother, people are sort of like, oh, well, you have a maid, you have this. You have to remember, take aside the luxury that some people may have or perceive to have. We're still human beings in a working environment. I'm not going to stress too much with the Kardashians because I know that's a whole different spin. But whenever I go somewhere, my family treats me like, oh my God, yeah, here's a plate. I don't need to. I'm not the Queen of England. Like, I'm doing something that you think is foreign because you don't do it. But understand that it is a job and it is a process. It is a process to come up with an idea. Most of the time, you're going to have to partner with someone with the idea. When you decide to go to a network, you and that person are going to have to work on that. Then you're going to have to go to the network. Once it goes in that next tier and layer, then a production company has to become involved. That's all of this stuff is not even greenlit your project, and you are working on this time where you may not be getting that money, or it's not enough for the course of the time that you're getting. It's like that money's got to last you for however long it takes for the process to get off. Not to mention, they're giving you a lump sum. That money has to get taxed through your corporation. Before on the untaxed money, you have to give your agent the cut, your manager the cut, your lawyer who looks over the contract. So 10%, 10%, 25%. And that's before people have even taken the taxes off of it. Then once the taxes is taken off the whole, not accounting that you've taken money for your manager, agent, and lawyer, you get what's ever left after that. And then from that money, the corporation has to pay out. You have to pay yourself as an employee. So I think people have to not look at the money that people are making and understand it's almost like, how long is that money supposed to stretch? People are in deals that last a couple of years off of some that can only take you for 6 months. You understand? So, and I always tell people also, the thing we have to remember is we have to watch the environments that we live in too. It's about our security. Once you get into a certain level, it's one of the reasons why I had to move to a doorman building. People thought I was making money. People were had access to my home, and people in prison were writing me love letter. And it was just like, then you're like, well, I have to maintain a certain level of security. And how, even at my level, why am I doing that? But that costs money. A doorman building costs money. Flights cost money. Writing costs money.
Well, I love what we do because
you love it. But I want people.
Letting people know the side that they don't get to see, which is good. Nobody gets to see the underside of anybody's job.
Yeah,
but the fact that we're in a whole different realm, entertainment is in a realm in and of itself, beyond any other job that's done on this planet. So therefore, it feels like we're put on a pedestal, and like you said, people automatically think you have fame and fortune, and they don't know your struggle. They don't know what you have to do to maintain that. They don't know what it takes to get there, to maintain it, to reinvent yourself, so that you can have longevity and have a plan for when you get old and Hollywood don't want you anymore.
Right. Yeah. And you have to be relevant. You have to continue. Every time you go on a writing job, there is a packet. They look at writing submission packets. That's for everybody. I mean, sometimes people be like, hey, I know, whatever. But for the most part, you got to have a packet ready so that when your agent calls you and says, listen, we got an opportunity they're looking for writers here, you got to be able to submit. Then sometimes you got to take that package and you have to adjust and curate that package for the show. Right. Whether it's a late night talk show you're writing for, whether it's scripted, whether somebody wants you to come on and help with the feature. So it's nobody's just giving you anything. Right. We are working very hard, and especially as Black people, but especially as Black women.
Yes. And that is why I don't justify my worth to a promoter or anybody that books me, because they don't know what all it takes for you to get up daily and work on your daily life, be your own boss, have a schedule. You don't have nobody else banging. We don't get workman's comp, vacation time. If we don't show up that's on us. So I get a lot of promoters that are like, well, why you think you worth that much? So-and-so came and did my show for that amount. I'm like, well, then call them back. Call them back. Because this is what I'm doing, and I know what I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm not strangling your neck I ain't asking you for $5,000-$10,000, but I know what I'm worth on this show. And if you ain't got it, then you need to call them back and lose my number.
Well,
until you get money.
And to
work that we put our work into what we do. That's why we're where we are and moving up.
To drive home that point of the blue collar mentality, Mia has to be somewhere very blue collar, and she has to step off. What are you doing, Mia? Why you gotta go?
Why did you just make it seem like I'm?
You see how he do you?
You made it seem like you was going to shovel coal or some shit. You were getting mad.
No, you guys are talking about how you're on the grind. You're doing it hard, and Mia has to leave right now. Where are you going, Mia?
Chris, what if I don't? I'm going to go see my niece. That's where I'm going.
There she go. She got your ass. She going to visit
where I'm going, Chris.
You know what that stands for, and so none of your damn business.
I thought we could say that was the joke.
If you must know, Chris, no, I'm actually going to go see a play.
Oh, the tough life of an entertainer has to leave a podcast to see a play.
People, and we have to get there early, and I'm gonna take the train because there's a writer's strike right now. And I ain't got no writing job, Chris. So I got to take the train to the show.
Yeah, those VIP seats aren't going to seat themselves. So get over there. Oh, you
back in the city? Call me after. Come. I'm off tonight. Come hang out. Come to the house.
You know what? I'm gonna call you when the play is over.
Yeah, call me when you get there.
Well, the caviar tasting should be over by then.
Be quiet, Chris.
Chris, you listen. Chris, Chris,
I love the New York City vibe.
Down.
I'm so glad COVID is over and people are doing this.
Yeah,
getting together and dropping by, all that. It's so.
I got to get my pinches. Mia gives me my little pinches.
I pinch her on the arm. I go.
That's not.
All the time.
Oh. All kidding aside, follow Mia on Instagram. She checks it twice a year at Mia Comedy.
Do better. I'm gonna do better, Chris. I am.
Don't feel bad, Mia. Don't feel bad. I check mine when I feel like it. It's so not a priority. Yeah. I got real shit over here I'm trying to handle. Like, get a show, all of that, all the shit you doing. So I get it. And then it's good that people know that we're busy. So when we're not when whatever they see what the fuck we doing. Working 9 to 5. At least I know I am. I'll be right here in this office working if I'm not on the road. So
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll hang out with Yamaneika and be a little bit longer. Follow Mia on Instagram at Mia Comedy. Support all the good stuff you see her out live, and probably encourage Sherri to have her on the Sherri Show. I think that'd be a good fit too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have fun.
Oh, that's your senior picture. How they used to do it.
Have fun at the champagne event.
Have fun at the play, Mia. Enjoy it.
Bye,
Nice
y'all.
meeting you, Mia. I'm glad you heard good
Nice
things
to meet
about
you
me.
too.
Great spirit, likewise. Enjoy.
Bye, Mia.
Bye.
What?
Love her.
You ain't jumping on the screen to replace Mia? I'm shocked.
Okay. Yes, I will. Hang on.
Chris, all I know is when September get here, I hope you have a haircut before September 8th.
Honey,
All I know is when I land in St. Louis, I might cut your hair June 7th.
please do. Because B don't want to cut hair.
Yamaneika, you don't even know how long his hair is in the back. It is ridiculous. It's like right
here. Are you serious, Chris?
Yeah, it is long in the back.
It's because there's not enough black women around here to get him together.
Girl, he ain't trying to find. He get work. All you do is live in that studio. He ain't trying to find no love. Chris don't want no love in his life.
No, that's why. This is exactly why I need to marry him, because we both are business savvy.
There it is.
It won't be a romantic relationship, but we'll make money.
There'll be a lot of acquiring of things that you can never use, right? Like, oh, hey, got a timeshare. Cool. Haven't been there 3 years. That's awesome.
And the cats and dogs get together. Will they get along in the household together?
I don't have
Okay.
any dogs.
You'll get a dog.
What?
You passed away?
Both my dogs died in the last year.
When did the last time I talked to you, you had a dog laying next to you.
Yeah, Nika, there's a difference between dying and having to be put to sleep.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, they were both of them had to be put to sleep. They both just kind of out of nowhere got sick, but out of nowhere, 16 and 13.
Yeah, Chris, don't say it like that. It wasn't like he came home and the dog was dead.
I'm so I didn't know. I knew one, but I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not. I don't really. It sucks, but it's part of the deal. And
you're gonna get another dog, Chris. You're a dog person, so when you're ready.
I'm shocked you didn't tell me. I'm a pet person. I'm shocked you didn't tell me that.
I don't feel like I have to burden everybody. It sucks. Who wants to hear about that? That's sad.
Yeah, I would have. Why not?
Exactly. That's the kind of stuff that become a mental health issue problem.
Yeah, we can talk about. Yeah,
talk about everything.
Right.
When my Forbesy died, my little baby here, and he got cancer out of nowhere. It was one of the most painful things. I mean, he was like a mama's boy. He was following me everywhere. He knew his name. He would stand up for me to pick him up. He was almost like a human. And I didn't want to put him down. They said he was in suffering. I let him linger for almost a week. I had to put him down. I was glad that my friends were there, that I was able to share with them. They came. A bunch of my friends came when we put him down. We had a little service before we put the needle in him, the first one. My friend was there to take over. I just needed to make sure that he saw me, even though it was very painful for me. I needed him to know that I was there with him when he got that first needle that was going to tranquilize him. And then the other one was going to take him out. And I couldn't see that one. And my friend said, turn, I'll take it over. And if I hadn't had a community of people there with me, I don't know where I would have been. It was a pain that, I lost my grandparents who raised me. I love my grandparents with all my heart.
Yeah.
And losing them took something away from me that I'll never regain. Mm-hmm. But when I lost Forbes, it was the same kind of pain, but that was my baby. So I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, thank you.
It is something that we always think about. I'm not a parent, so I'm sure parents always think about their own children and worry about their children.
Imagine.
As a pet parent, from the time you get that pet, you're like, how long do I have? And,
I was lucky. Yeah. They lived 16 and 13. They were pretty good. I think I put up like an Instagram post. You make like a little post. So you're like, oh, I can remember that. But yeah, it's not easy. This is the longest. I'll be 39 in a couple weeks. Crazy. Yeah. Longest I've went without a dog. I've had dogs my entire life. Like I'm talking baby to now. So yeah, I'll have another dog eventually, but thank you. And there you go. See? People do care about me, everybody.
I don't know. You and y'all might be a match, Chris. Y'all both have birthdays coming up in June.
That's coming up quick, huh?
Yeah. You're both turning around a great number in terms of age. So
wait, when's your birthday, Yamaneika?
No, mine's in November.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, Chris is a Gemini, which is really.
I read the thing wrong. You sent me about your birthday celebration.
No, I sent it to you now because I want people to prepare for it. I hope you can come because I want everybody. Now, let me just say this. I can't tell you where it is, guys, because I want my friends to get the best deals on rooms. But
right.
You could cause a rush. Like the people that I assume who you're inviting, like this could be a party.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it on Zoom.
No, I'm inviting some. And now I don't know, let people schedule and stuff, but we're going somewhere. I'm excited. I wanted water. I'm a Scorpio. I like water. I'm reflecting now. I'm excited. I just want to have fun. I want to, for a long time. And really, I get upset because I feel like, a lot of the kids in the 20s, they were complaining, right, that the pandemic ruined their 20s because they were just getting into life. But I'm like, there's nothing worse than having the pandemic ruin your 40s. I mean, really, we didn't talk about that. I mean,
1 year of your whole life.
It was kind of 2 years plus.
It was like 3 years. And like, I just was getting into my 40s. So I said, no, I'm not going to not enjoy. And I'm changing my perspective. I've been really down on myself, this. No, that's why I said the things I said about Tina Turner, but I do agree with B when she said, let's not just focus on the negative and the overcoming. But for me, knowing that as a woman, I never would have thought age would be a thing because I never lived my life in validation of anything superficial like beauty or age.
Right.
But what I've noticed is even though I may not be letting age cripple me, I am in a society that likes to start to ostracize women, and it starts with age. And it's outside of me. It is a narrative that is being pushed, and I am fighting against that. You are not going to sit me down. Who's going to sit me down is God. When it is his time for him to sit me down, I will sit down. Until then, we are marching on to Zion with fortitude. That's why I love what Tina Turner has done with her life. It's only gotten better. I love what Bev is doing. I love what Sherri's doing. I love what Kym's doing, B's doing. I have a whole bunch of women ahead of me who are not Jackie Fabulous, who are Leslie Jones, who ain't sitting down.
Exactly.
And I ain't going to sit down either.
I think it goes for you two too. I said this to Sherri and Kym, and B, go right ahead. We got about 10 minutes. I asked Sherri and Kym this, and they were like, "Oh, maybe." And in a way, I was kind of trying to make them joke and say I was the reason, but it's not. I'm being stupid when I say that. At the ages Sherri and Kym are at, I said, for all you two have done, for all your resumes, for all your people love you, you've checked every box you possibly could. No one, obviously you can keep ascending, but pretty tough to get to those levels in entertainment. Is this the best 3-year run? They've got 2 NAACP Image Awards or a podcast. They've got TV shows. Sherri has her dream job. They've both been in movies, TV shows, everything, streaming stuff. You forget, Sherri was on an HBO series, or still is. Is this the best 3-year run that the two of them have had collectively? And I think that they'd have to say yes, which means the best parts of their career have come at the age they're at now. And that's
the same way. I feel the same way in terms of, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with where you are in Hollywood or where they see you. It also has to do with where you are as a person and if you're ready for that growth and just the things that you need to do to prepare yourself to keep on going in this business. Mm-hmm. So if you, like me, I'm one of them lay low and grow because I want to live. No matter what comes my way, I want to live to be, I don't know what God has for me, but I want to live to be old. That's one of my things. I don't worry about aging. I don't worry about getting old. None of that. And I just think because I just want to live and I love life, that's what is like my inspiration on a daily of getting up and being motivated. I look at people like my grandmother who's in her 90s and still drives and wears fly clothes and shit. And I'm like, can I have that purse? Exactly. To people like Tina Turner. That's what I inspire to say, that when I look back at my journey, I've had a long life. And that's all I want on this planet. And whatever comes with it, I just feel as though I'm only getting better at it. So that's what I embrace in terms of becoming an older woman. And I love it. And I always tell people I'm like 5 years older than I am. And they'd be like, you lying. I'm like, no, and I have the whole year. You know, Yami, I be having the date worked out. I tell everybody I was born in 63 because I just love life. And I feel like as you get older, you can embrace it. And I really try to encourage women to know that we all got to get old. And it's a blessing to get old. You cannot change getting old if God lets you live. But you can control how you age.
Yes.
You really can. It's all in your spirit. And you can't let people, you can't let people define you, like you say, and make you feel insecure about your age. Because look at Kym and Sherri. Like, people gravitate to them because of who they are. People gravitate to me because I love talking about my flash rags. And I make people feel comfortable about hot flashes. I'm serious. I've had plenty of women say to me, you know what? I'm just going to embrace this because it's a part of life. And they feel better instead of worry about what people think in the office with them having a flash and all.
Right.
It's a life just like having a period. Embrace it. You can't do nothing about it. And all the stuff that they have for you to do about it has its side effects, all of that stuff. You ain't the first person on this damn planet that had a hot flash. It's just, so embrace it, make fun of it, love it. Just like you have to work with your period, you got to work with hot flashes. It's a part of getting older. You should be thankful you getting there. But we're in a society where we feel like as women, we start to sag here and there. We don't have that youthful look. You're not supposed to. You are supposed to be where you are at that moment and work with that instead of trying to be like, you got your high school weight. Well, why don't you be happy with where you are and work on getting better at that? And then all that other stuff don't matter. It don't matter. It's just commentary. So that's what I love about getting older. And I get it from my grandma. She one of them don't care about what nobody say. It's like, do you, because you only got a certain amount of time on this planet.
Yeah.
So earn it. That's what grandma says all the time. Earn your life on this planet. God gave it to you for a reason, so that when you stand before him, he ain't just judging you on your sins. He's judging you on your life, how you lived and what you do. Did you make it better for other people? So earn it. Do something good. That's all I love. That's what I love about life. I just like doing good, helping people, and, just living it. Every day is a different day I've never seen. I say it all day long, Chris. Today is a new day I've never seen. So that's how I try to live life.
Inspiring. If you want to see some inspiring ladies on the road, Sherri and Kym, Killeen, Texas, coming up, sherrishowtv.com/tour. Get your tickets. They're going to be together at that one. And then Sherri, again, is at the Charlotte Comedy Zone this weekend. And this is me buying time as I say I look for the flyer to toss back up.
That she's out doing what she's always wanted.
I am too.
Yeah. Sure, really embracing being back on the road, because she always felt she never really got a chance to just like be on the road. She hit it in terms of like, she didn't have to be on the road long at all, maybe like 2 years, and she got lucky doing different comedy shows and jumping on Jamie Foxx and all the different stuff. But she always wanted to be on the road. And so it's like now she's at a point where Jeffrey's older. She can go out for a thing. And I'm just proud of her because she's really making it work and telling her story. And I'm just so proud of where she's come in terms of being on the road. Like 5 years ago when she was feeling like, oh, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do on the road, but I want to be on the road. And she loves it. Whereas most people our age, we've been on the damn road. It's like we tired of being on the road. So most people, we don't, we're not trying to be on the road. So I just totally admire that about her. I love the road. I love the road. I don't complain about it.
It comes across on stage. I think it was last week, for those of you tuning in, Sherri was kind of giving herself a hard time for being difficult during a great show here in St. Louis, but she was a little hard on herself, but we all had a blast. And her and Kym, I would just say it shines through. Like when you go, I mean, people are great actors and really into their acts and stuff too. But let me tell you something. There were 500 people in a 500-person theater. You were there. You performed. Those people lost their minds, and they get to tell everybody they went and saw all those funny people that night because Sherri and Kym were kind enough to share the stage with some folks, and it's shining through. So I recommend doing it. Also, hey, we were talked about this, but go back on YouTube, watch your friend Yamaneika on the Laugh Lounge. I couldn't even grab a screen grab of you being still. Love the outfit. Very funny appearance. Yeah. I know B's going to be on there before too long, I hope. And Yamaneika crushed it. Did you have a good time?
I did. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. I don't know what Sherri wants me to share. So first of all, I love that outfit. I hated the way I looked, to be honest with you, because I hate when I sit down because I'm so busty and everything looks like it didn't reflect all the working out that I've done and my toning, because I just felt I looked squatty, but I love the outfit. I got the outfit from Culture's Closet, but when we stopped doing, we finished taping second season of Life and Beth. I took my weave out because I want to just have my hair for a while. I don't, and with the writer's strike, I'm like, I don't have to do my hair. So then I forgot I had to do Sherri. I said, Sherri, I need some hair. Sherri said, come on, get some hair. Sherri, give me some hair. Sherri gave me hair and her hairstyle. I mean, Sherri is so damn generous and amazing. I mean, she was just like, girl, yeah, come on. I was like, because I don't have no hair. So that hair, if you put that picture up again, that hair is thanks to Sherri Shepherd. How generous. I was a guest on her show begging for hair. I
was going to say that looks like a Sherri wig that's usually hanging in there.
Right, she gave me hair. And the glam
wig.
Yeah, Sherri. No, she just.
That's the wig. The wig that she got on when we did. That's the wig you had on. I've seen that wig before.
I was going to say, that looks too familiar, yeah.
Because it's in her dressing room where she gets her hair.
Yes.
So I'm sure you had a nice selection.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Isn't that like, damn, Yamaneika got on the wig.
I got this head. I just wear my hair back in a bun. I'm just like, I said, Sherri, I ain't got no hair. Sherri said, come on. So I know she did, she would never in a million years, right, tell me to tell that story. I don't know if she want that story even out, but that made me feel so good. The energy over there, her team, of course, seeing John and I used to do Meredith Vieira together. I can't say enough about the people over there. Sherri has created such a vibe of humanity, love. The crowd is getting love and energy. Just everything Sherri does is with love, and Kym as well. So every time I'm asked to come on here, I'm gonna be here if I can, because I'm always amazed that they would even ask me to come in and fill their space, because they have such an awesome and dynamic energy, chemistry, spirit. It is big shoes to follow.
Bill. Yes, I'm totally blessed. I'm surprised they call on me, because you know how ignorant I am. I am very blessed to be in this position. And, I'm always indebted to them being on their channel with my Tighten Up Tuesday show. So, Sherri and I have been friends for almost 25 years now. And I've just been so blessed to know she's just always been a great spirit. And she's never going to change. I mean, what would she change into? Who would she be if she changed? She's who she is. And that's why I love her. She's just so great with her crazy little self.
I love it.
Girl, you killing me with Sherri wig on. That is so funny. I kept looking like that. Don't even look like Yami. I'm looking at the hair like, when Yami had a wig like that? I'm like, hell no. That's Sherri's wig, but that's hilarious.
Before we go,
Yami, remember when you came to Sherri house and I did your hair?
Yeah. And she just let me come in there. You took care of me.
And that's when you met Sherri. You was like, girl, I said, girl, you better bring your ass up here and get your hair done for free right here in her dining room. I did your hair right in her dining room.
She sure did.
Sure did. That's how we work. That's how we roll, because we look out for each other. We've always done it. That's why we're great friends.
I love it. June coming up, June 2nd. Kym is back. Act Your Age. Bounce TV. Check it out. Everybody be sure to tune in for that. You know all about it. So exciting. It's cool to see so many people reacting so well to that. So watch that. Obviously, you want to watch the Sherri Show, and you're going to tune in, and you're going to check out all the projects B and Yamaneika and Mia have coming on. We'll get out of here. But ladies, any plugs before we go?
June 7th, I'm in St. Louis at KJ's on Broadway, my favorite karaoke spot. Even though it's not a karaoke spot, they do it on Thursday. But I love coming home. So anytime I get an opportunity to be in St. Louis, I'm there. And then I'm in Florida at Dania Beach Casino, June 24th, right outside of like Fort Lauderdale area. Yeah, I need to be home more. I'm trying to get my house together.
I mean, I get it.
I major home projects. So
I'm in. Hold on a second, Brooklyn. I'm coming. My cats they need
I didn't
mama.
know they talk to you. I forgot they be talking to you.
They be talking. You know, they go, hurry up.
Where's my food at? Where my food at?
I'm going to be doing the roast of anti-Semitism on June 14th at the yes.
Cool.
What?
Yes, roasted anti-Semitism, bringing awareness to.
Sorry, finish your plug.
Yeah, it's going to be at the Sabian Theater in Los Angeles, June 14th. Come out. We are here to. It is an effort to make sure that we stop anti-Semitism and any of the other discriminations that are going here. So it's going to be a great cast of people. Howie Mandel's on it. Jeff Ross is on it. Jessica Kirsten, Michael Rappaport, myself, Triumph the Dog, Elon Gold is going to be on it, Rachel Bloom, and another few other special guests. So that's happening. And then I'm also doing, I think it's the 24th or the 27th, but go to my Instagram at Yamaneika. I will be posting stuff on my stories. Comedy Hype is doing its first comedy show. So it's going to be me and Pierre and I believe Capone and a few other people. So we're working on that. So yeah, there's a couple of things coming up, but you can check me out at everything at Yamaneika. And just a shout out to Chris. Thank you for being here today and for letting me come on. B, you know how I feel about you. I love you so much. You are an amazing spirit. Mia knows I care for her. Sherri and Kym. And just I'm always blessed. I'm always amazed when I come back here. And I love the audience here. Thank you guys so much for your love and your hospitality and allowing me to come on.
And Chris, I always have to show love to Two Funny Mama fans because I share them on my show, Tighten Up Tuesday. So, of course, I have love for both spaces. And I'm always honored to be here. It's been a minute. So thank you, Chris. And thank you, Sherri and Kym, for having me back. Of course. I love Two Funny Mamas.
Absolutely. Be sure to tune in next week. Everybody have a great holiday weekend. I keep forgetting it's a holiday weekend. Get out there, relax, enjoy the time off, and follow me, Insta Denman, on Instagram. Ladies, great show. I'm glad Mia got to jump in.
Yes.
Funny as ever. Great work, and rest in peace, Tina Turner. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in.
Rest in peace. See you, y'all. Love you.
Love you, baby.
Funny mamas. Two funny mamas. Two funny mamas.